Welcome to this presentation on how to achieve membership of IFOMPT. My name is Duncan Reid. I am the Chair of the Advisory Group on Membership Development. This is the first of 3 individual presentations on how to achieve the various membership categories of IFOMPT. This presentation will cover registered interest groups, the second presentation associate member organisation, and the final presentation on how to become a full member of IFOMPT. The slide before you gives you an overview of the process to become a registered interest group of IFOMPT. This process starts as described in the top left-hand box with a potential RIG being formalised and setting up its structure and bylaws. That RIG then applies to the Executive Committee of IFOMPT, and the Executive Committee considers the application and, if all is in order, will approve the application. You will then be informed that you have met RIG status, and you will be required to pay a fee to maintain your annual membership of IFOMPT. At that point, you will then be guided towards a member of the advisory group to help you with your curriculum development. The next slides will take you in more detail through these steps. A RIG often starts in a number of different places, but is usually a group of physiotherapists who have had a significant interest in developing a manual therapy program in that country. It is often that one of these members may have trained overseas and has come back to this country to try and grow a similar program using the skills and knowledge that they have gained in their own training from another approved IFOMPT training program. Some RIGs, on the other hand, may be starting from scratch just with a small group of therapists who wish to develop a curriculum, and they may have aspirations to teach this perhaps in a community setting over a series of weekends. And this is often how many countries have started. Some groups have a strong link with a university in their country and wish to develop a university type program, or they may have links with an existing IFOMPT accredited program in an overseas country. All of these starting points are acceptable to IFOMPT. Once your RIG is starting to develop some momentum, and you will be ready to apply for membership, the following things are required. Firstly, you must have a letter of application with the name of your RIG. Secondly, you need to develop a constitution and code of conduct. Examples of constitutions and codes of conduct are available on the IFOMPT website. You need to name your office bearers. This is usually a president, a secretary, a treasurer, and perhaps a chairman of an education committee. We also need to know how many members you have in your organisation and that they must all be physiotherapists or physical therapists, not chiropractors or osteopaths. IFOMPT is a physiotherapy-driven organisation, and as such you must be a physiotherapist to belong. Finally, you need a declaration that you will adhere to the IFOMPT Constitution and Code of Conduct, and this is also available on the website. Once you have been approved by the executive and have achieved RIG status, you will be linked with a member of the advisory group on membership development. We will appoint a member to you who hopefully is geographically close to your country so that you can begin to develop a strong relationship with them. These people are well experienced with the processes and procedures of IFOMPT and have often worked on the standards committee, so they understand the processes required to develop a curriculum. The main role of this member of the advisory group is to work with you to develop your manual therapy curriculum that meets the educational standards of IFOMPT. It is important that you download the educational standards, read them carefully, and have questions for that member of the advisory group so you can understand how to develop your curriculum. If you have already developed the framework of a curriculum, again, we strongly recommend that you link this with the standards document. If this is not done at a very early stage of development, it means a lot of work further down the track and may mean that you do not meet the required standards as judged by the Standards Committee in the future. So it is a really key message today that you begin to think about your curriculum development right from the start using the standards document. What happens if there is more than one RIG developed in a particular country? It is often the case that there is more than one group in a country that wishes to run an OMPT program. These programs do not need to be the same in terms of structure and philosophy, but they must all in the end meet the IFOMPT standard. Remember that membership of IFOMPT is by country and not by individual program or people. So if there is more than one RIG, there must be the formation of what we call an umbrella group for that country. The umbrella group will be likely in the passage of time to be the same group that has their name approved as the member organisation of IFOMPT. There are many countries that have these umbrella groups. For example, in the United States, the umbrella group is AOMPT, the American Academy of Orthopedic Manipulative Physical Therapists. There are many programs that are run in individual universities in the United States. These individual university programs are all accredited to the IFOMPT standard, but they are overseen by AOMPT. AOMPT oversees the accreditation of any new programs and also manages the moderation process as these programs continue to teach. In New Zealand, quite a small country, we have 2 university programs. These are both accredited by IFOMPT, but they are overseen by the New Zealand Manipulative Physical Therapists Association. The NZMPA is the umbrella group for New Zealand. If in your country there is only ever going to be one OMT program, then you do not need to form an umbrella group. But as time goes on, if other programs grow in that country, then an umbrella group must be formed. Also just note, if there is ever only one OMT program in a country, as your curriculum develops from RIG status, you may progress from a RIG status to an associate membership organisation status, and that will be covered in presentation 2. IFOMPT can approve any number of RIGs within a country, but as those programs develop, it will only approve one umbrella group. As I've stated in the previous slide, it is that umbrella group and its name which is likely to become the name of the member organisation in future. Formation of these umbrella groups sometimes has internal political challenges, and IFOMPT cannot resolve these. That is not our job. These must be resolved internally. If you cannot form an umbrella group amongst the groups that are delivering programs in your country, it will be impossible to achieve full membership status, because I have to reiterate the point again that membership of IFOMPT is only by one country, not multiple programs. The multiple programs must come under an umbrella organisation. The advisory group can help you with how to formulate that umbrella, but we cannot resolve any internal disputes about how that umbrella group is going to run. The umbrella group, like your own RIG, will need to have a constitution and a code of conduct and office bearers that represent all of the educational programs in that country. Once a RIG has moved to associate membership stage and has a program approved by the Standards Committee, then the country is eligible for membership. But again, to reiterate, IFOMPT will only link with the umbrella group if there are other programs that develop concurrently or in the future. Finally, all the resources of how to join IFOMPT are on the website, so please go to the link provided on this slide and look at these before you get too far down the track. As the chair of the advisory group on membership development, I am available to answer any questions. Please feel free to email me on the email on the slide, and I will help to guide you through this process of trying to achieve IFOMPT membership. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation.